Hello everybody, what's up? It's Melanie coming to you from the Outer Banks in Lucky's house. We got some cool cloudage today. It's been a little bit since I've been on here, and I wanted to get on and talk to y'all and say hello and give you a little bit of an update of what's been going on, and then I feel like I just said that. And then tell you a quick story. And the story is going to be about how I became addicted, or my journey and my belief on how I became addicted to pharmaceutical narcotics. And maybe some tips and tricks to help anybody else out there that might be going through that addiction and going through that substance issue. Lucky likes to say hello. Who's a good boy? All right. I am still recovering. That's what's been going on. I've been sleeping a lot. I have been relaxing and resting, and coming up to see this guy, and just trying to, here, we'll do this and y'all can see him, just trying to get better and get well again. I came down with the flu-ish, cold, COVID, who knows, it doesn't matter. I was sick as shit back a couple weeks ago, and had a car accident right before that, and so my body's like going through some times, and I guess that's kind of where this led me. So I've been having pretty significant pain to the point that I was in tears a couple of days. It got pretty intense whiplash. It flared up an injury back from 2005 from a horse fall, and it's been hard, and I didn't think it would be this hard. And I found like all the gratitude in the beginning that I wasn't hurt way more than I could have been, and gratitude for the miracle that my kids were in the car. Like, I found all the gratitude, but man, the recovery process has been much longer than I was anticipating. I'm going to the chiropractor 1 to 2 times a week, which is significantly helping. I went last week and was in such bad pain afterwards that I was crying and couldn't even like get out of bed for a solid 24 hours. I do not take pain medicine. I may take turmeric for pain. I just don't. I for some reason now on my journey, I want to feel it, and I want to know why it's there, and I want to allow my body to process it naturally. So like, I've even drifted from taking turmeric for pain relief. I still smoke the reefer for pain relief, but that's just like something I do even when I'm not in pain, so that doesn't count. It used to be that I was hunting down Vicodin pills to steal them from my dad. And it used to be that I was going to a pain doctor and a pain clinic to get Opana so I could snort it after everybody went to bed. It used to be that I'd take Tylenol and Motrin on a daily basis because of the pain I was in. Sorry, there's like a lot of loud truck things, tractor happening. I was in a lot of pain. And so I took a lot of drugs to help that pain. I talked in an earlier video, maybe just the last video, about how I broke my back in 2007. That's the actual date. I found a picture of me and Lucky jumping at an event, cross-country jump, while we were going through some pictures, and it was 2007, and so I broke my back a week after that picture was taken, which is crazy. I guess I should hunt it down and take a picture of it for you guys. So I broke my back in 2007. Prior to that, I herniated a disc that they found out about when I broke my back in 2007, and I had herniated the disc so bad that it was completely degenerative with no fluid left in it. I believe that happened in 1999 or 2000. I was on the swim team. I was a diver on the swim team. I bent over at my locker and stood back up, and it happened. I had to be taken out with an ambulance, and they didn't believe me. They wouldn't treat my pain. It was absolutely gnarly. My parents didn't really believe the pain I was in, but I'm glad and grateful that I found out what had caused all that pain for so long. So back then I just took Tylenol and Motrin when I needed it, and I was able to deal with it and tolerate it as a kid. Fast forward to 2007, I break my back. fast forward a year after that, I'm taking like Vicodin occasionally. There you go, boy. Taking Vicodin occasionally, not very often. Maybe 30 tabs a year, maybe. It might have been like 10 or 15 a year. And I was upset with that. And I talked to my doctor and I said, I don't want to take Vicodin. I'm like 22 years old. I don't want to live like this anymore. And she said, go do yoga. And I was like, what's that going to do? Nothing. And she's like, no, go do yoga, try it out, see what happens. So I went and I did yoga. And I was blown away by the results. And since then, I've held yoga practice as a high priority in my life, even though the last 3 weeks I've really fallen out of any type of stretching or movement just because I felt so bad, which has probably continued the process of feeling bad, but that's a totally different journey. So no, it's not. It's actually all included. It always sucks when you have to look at yourself. So I went and I did yoga, and I took this amazing yoga journey. So we're like in 2008 now. And Chris and I moved to North Carolina. I start my first nursing job at Duke, and I'm doing back bends. And my neurosurgeon back in 2007 told me I would never do back bends again and would never have full back range of motion again. And I was blown away that that wasn't true and that I was like breaking down all these walls, right? As I always do. I break all the rules. So I'm working at Duke. We get pregnant in February 2011, so I'd been at Duke for almost 2 years. We decided to move back to New York. That was probably one of the reasons why I started getting addicted to pills. We moved back to upstate New York because we didn't feel like we had enough family. The baby wasn't going to have any grandparents in their life. Like, I had 2 sisters that lived down in North Carolina, but we felt that we needed to be up in New York. So we moved up there in July of 2011 and had my first daughter in November of 2011. Began the journey of postpartum psychosis in January of 2012. Come out of it, work with, I think I might have started therapy back then, but I can't remember. End up getting pregnant with Lulu in May of 2012, so that's 6 months later, maybe it was April. And I start having really bad back pain. And my hips start really hurting. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of discomfort. I start taking a Vicodin of my dad's here and there. Not very often. And then I'm like, this pain sucks so much that I just got to go get my own script. I'm a labor and delivery nurse at this point, and I was like, fuck it. I don't care. The pain is so bad. I'm taking pills so I can get through my day because I've got a baby at home. She was 6 months old, 7, maybe by the time I started using on a more regular basis was September, October of that year, maybe end of August. So my baby is 9 months at this time. And I am mid-pregnancy with the second baby. In pain every day. I end up having Lulu. After having Lulu in February of 2013, the pain of surgical incisional pain was so intense because I'd been using narcotics for so long, they were no longer effective. My tolerance was way up. So then I start taking more of my dad's medication. He gets knee surgery and I take way more of my dad's medication. And I had a big problem. And I started going through postpartum psychosis with Lulu, and the Vicodin and the oxys made me feel better. Well, my dad starts hiding his medication, and I need to go get a different source. So I'm going to my doctor, and she's not handing it out. And I was like, I'm in pain. I'm going to a pain doctor. And I get a referral to the pain doctor. Go see him, and he gives me oxymorphone. Oxymorphone is a combination of like Dilaudid and OxyContin, and taken orally. I start taking that. I'm on anti-anxiety meds because I'm anxious all the time. I'm on sleeping meds because I can't sleep because I'm high all the time. And I'm everywhere. I'm doing everything, right? And go back to him. I'm like, you need to increase the dose because this is just not enough. and he increases the dose, I get crazier and crazier. Finally, my parents, I ended up in the mental hospital before this ever happened. So that was July. Lulu was 6.5, 7 months old, and I ended up in the psychiatric unit of the local hospital up in New York. I'm there for a week and get discharged. A week later, I go back in again because I'm losing my fucking mind. I then went to see the pain doctor after that because let's give a crazy person more medicine. Nobody ever talked to me about diet. Nobody ever talked to me about meditation. Nobody ever talked to me about spirituality. They just shoved pharmaceuticals in my face as quickly as I could ask for them. My family, after adding the opioids, begins to disown me one by one. And it gets to the point that I get thrown out of my parents' house. And I'm no longer allowed to live there. I'm no longer allowed to see my children. And once that happened, I had hit rock bottom and was like, I will do anything. And I left my pills 2 hours away and said, I'm done. I don't need this in my life anymore. I don't need this journey anymore. I had a lockbox that I carried around with me with all my pills in it because it was so fucking crazy. And I left it in Cortland, New York, in a 1-bedroom apartment where I had slept the night before, barely, with cockroaches everywhere. It was awful. Somebody I'd met while I was in the psychiatric ward of the hospital. Because it's great, like crazy should hang out with more crazy, right? And oh, he's still going. So I left my pills there. I was like, fuck it, don't care. We ended up going back and Chris destroying them. I think he took them to the police department or whatever. And I began detoxing. And I had left my pills, went to my mother-in-law's house where my kids were, and started detoxing and being a parent at the same time. About 12, 13 hours in, I felt terrible. Chris went to work the next day. My mother-in-law took the girls, and I went to my parents' house 45 minutes away. That drive in the car was one of the longest and hardest drives of my life. The sweat pouring off of me, I cannot describe to you. I got out of that car, my shirt was soaked, my pants were soaked. I felt like I wanted to vomit the entire way. And I got home to my parents' house, and I said, please let me stay here and do this. Please let me stay. And my mom said no. And my dad looked at me and said, Karen, look at her. Please, let's help her. And I went and I took a shower. And I went to bed in my sister's bedroom. And I started the hardest journey of my life. And I was 2 days in. I had shit myself about 18 times that day. And Chris came in and I said, please help me. Please help me. I don't know what to do. Please help me. And he'd had it. And he said no. And he left. He said, there's nothing I can do for you. And he was right. Like, it was me. I needed to be the one to fix what I had created. And I prayed. I prayed to God. I prayed, if you're there, please show me that you're there. And please help me. I shit you not. Jesus appeared in my room. I wasn't religious. I wasn't spiritual. I wasn't any of it. He appeared in my room, in my sister's room, and sat on my bed, put his hand on my leg, and I fell asleep, and I slept for 2.5 hours, and I hadn't slept the entire time. I knew it was going to be okay at that point, and I kept moving forward. He was gone after that, but I knew he was there. And I climbed out of the darkness, step by step, slowly but surely. If it wasn't enough, going through that, and it wasn't enough being abandoned by everybody that I'd ever known, being handed breadcrumbs because they didn't trust me as far as they could throw me. Found out that Christopher was having an affair. And that's not the focus of this, but just to show you, it was not easy. It was not rainbows. It was awful. And we figured it out from there. We both made choices and decisions as to how we were going to move forward. And I didn't relapse. And that was the test. Like, you get tested the hardest when it's the most important to show what you can do. And we moved forward. It was not easy. I ended up relapsing. Working as a nurse, it was very easy and highly accessible to get narcotics anytime I wanted them. I've talked about it in the past. I don't recommend doing it. I never got caught. My license was never taken. I didn't use at work. I used at home. That's probably why. But after going through this, I got pregnant with my third child when my middle child was 9 months old, and that was a total accident. The second one was planned. I did it to myself. But the third one was a gift from God and a complete accident. And without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. Also one of the hardest journeys. I used IV drugs while I was pregnant with Scarlett. Again, because of the pain. So why did I have all this pain? Why was I suffering so badly? It's because of what I was eating. How do I know that? Well, how could you know that, Melanie? Has there scientific documentation? Well, let me tell you. I have taken 4 aspirin, Tylenol, or Motrin in the last 6 years. I go to the chiropractor. I maybe take turmeric tea. And I have no pain. I have had COVID. I have had the flus. I have had awful injuries. I have hurt my back again, as in this last car accident, to the point of tears. And I won't take pain medicine because I don't need it. I'm strong enough. That's one big, huge lesson that I've learned in all of this, is that I'm strong enough and capable enough to tolerate the pain that is being handed to me. And it's mostly in here. Like, it's a fucking mind game in here. Eating the way that I was eating, Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Burger King, Arby's, eating the way I was eating, stop that coughing right now, doing the things that I was doing with food, so much meat, so much dairy, so inflammatory, so much sugar, giant Reese's peanut butter cups, giant. Eating the way I was eating was making me crazy. And it's because I was so nutritionally deficient. I found a study about pigs back in January of 2016 before I ever became vegan. And the pigs exhibiting bipolar disorder, because pigs and humans are so similar, they gave them a vitamin. Guess what? The pigs got better. I don't believe that our vitamins do the same work that fresh fruits and vegetables do for our body. Fresh juices, what those are like, those are changing people's lives. Why? Because it's a high-powered antioxidant and vitamin and mineral all wrapped up into one. Try to do as organic as possible. It'll change your life. It's getting really cold. So it's a little hard to concentrate, but I wanted to share this story with you guys to let you know that no matter what darkness that you're going through, it will only be improved by adding fresh fruits and vegetables to your diet. Removing the things that cause inflammation in our bodies and in our brains. It's all connected. It's all connected. Adding a salad to your everyday life. Adding dates to your everyday life. These things will change your everyday life in ways I can't describe to you. 180-degree transformations from the person that I was. 6.5, 7 years ago, I was mistaken for homeless because I didn't care about my appearance and I didn't care about what I was wearing, and I was miserable and rotten in the inside and didn't smile at people and didn't talk nice to people, and I was just mad. Fast forward to today, I'm still mistaken for homeless because of the crazy shit I wear after coming to the barn. I actually have jeans on today, but normally I have these like big baggy fleece sweatpants on. There's a vulture flying around that I keep looking at, but yeah, except the change and the difference is that I'm happy on the inside. Even though I'm in pain, I'm happy. And I'm laughing with my family, and I'm hanging out with my family, and I'm not hiding away in a dark hole, which has taken me a long time to get through and to overcome those behavioral patterns that were instilled in my brain for all those years of depression and bipolar and mental illness and all the things. The difference is I'm happy. And how did I get here? It's through the food. How is he getting to his wellness? Through his food. I gave him 2 dishes because he has too much in the one now. I might be overfeeding him a little bit, but he's not chubby. He's just, I feel like he's slimming down some. Anywho, I gotta go put his halter on before he runs away. Anyways, I love you guys. So much peace, so much love, so much namaste. Hasta luego. Hey again, I feel like I always do this, but with horses it's unpredictable and you gotta run at the moment. He didn't get away. I got the halter on and then we had some grass. But what is the purpose of pain? Pain is there to slow us down. Pain is there to bring attention to something that needs to be taken care of. And by covering up that pain, you are covering up what needs to be taken care of and shoving it down into your cells to then be possibly taken care of later, or you just shove so much shit on top of your cells that eventually you wear away and die. We need to stop running from the things that are hurting us, and we need to face them head on. And I guess that's the message today, is that through the pain, we are able to overcome and face our biggest fears. So I guess that's it. It's a funny joke because every single time I go to do a video, Christopher sends a message in or like comes home or just like walks in every time. And so that's what got me distracted. And I was like, all right, I guess that's done. When we face our pain, we face our biggest fears. And I want to leave you all with that. So allow the pain in your life. Allow it to do things for you. Allow it to slow you down and allow it to transform you in ways that you could never have imagined. And so like without the pain, I never would have found yoga. Without the pain, I never would have found a whole foods plant-based diet. Without the pain, I never would have found this amazing chiropractor that puts this little zappy thing on my back with a heating pack, and it's amazing. Like I am grateful now for the pain, and when I get to experience it, it always shows me something. Now I'm gonna head out. I want to wish you all so much peace, so much love, so much namaste. Don't worry that I cried a little bit in this video. It's emotional stuff that I'm talking about, but by sharing it, I know that I'm helping others, and it's not going to hold me down, and I'm not even going to think about it the rest of the day. So yeah, there we are. All right. Much love to you guys. So much peace, so much love, so much namaste. Adios.